There we are. I don't know how loud that is, honestly. Does this work for us? Can you hear me well? Okay, we got 6 people on here. Tell me if you can hear me. Tell me if like the background noise is too bad. Um, Anything like that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Z. Oh, cool. You seem chill. You can hear me well? Is the background noise bad? Okay. Send likes. My full Wi-Fi network went down, which is really annoying because I had 1,000 people in here and I was trying to get some good discussions going on. But whatever. We'll live. We'll move. Keep on sending likes. Thank you to the 15 people in here. Where was I? I was celebrating. I have a life. Like, I also can't smile, so like me laughing kind of looks really weird. But Pakistan started on October 7th. What did Pakistan do on October 7th? Yeah, no, I've been partying Christmas and New Year's. Spending Christmas. I was live on Christmas, so it's been 7 days. We need more of you. Are you through all my uploads on YouTube? If you're through all my uploads on YouTube, tell me, and I'll literally take the 2 seconds it takes to upload more. But love you all. Happy New Year's, everyone. If you disagree with this, send a guest request. If you agree with me, send likes. You've watched all of it? Okay, I will upload more. Okay? Okay. Damn right I am. Wonderful. Well, let's see if we can get people on here. Otherwise, I'm going to hop over to my second account. Otherwise, I'm going to hop over to Will's.spam. But we should be chilling. If y'all can send likes, we can get people up here. Yeah. Everyone have a good New Year's in this live. Thank you so much for sharing the live, for sending likes. We don't get the typical boost that we would have because I already used that boost going on and then failing. So that's fun. But thank you so much to the people sending likes. Maybe we can build up a good live here. Yeah. Good New Year's. Good day. 70 people. Okay. We're moving. We're moving and grooving. We can do it. Thank you, Nicholas. We're moving. Am I back in the UK? Not quite. That's why I'm currently at the beach. Well, not from the beach. Players. I'm not literally currently at the beach. I'm on a porch. But no, I'm gay. Yeah. Thank you so much for the people sending likes, people that send gifts. I appreciate it. And people that don't follow me up here. And send a guest request if you disagree with me. We can maybe try this background. 1 second. Guests. Well, you agree with me, so no. No, I'm not pro-Israel. Hosts. Are there any good? Intriguing. Don't think we should be spending money to a government that imprisons Palestinians. I agree. And all U.S. support. Do believe in one state or two states, one state or two state in the interim, one state in the future. Israelis are innocent. Did I ever say anything indicting Israelis? I mean, the IDF is composed of Israelis. Those Israelis are not innocent, but it's nothing to do with them being Israeli. Okay, we got 100 people on here. Thank you to the 100 people on here. Thank you to everyone that sent likes. We get 100 people on here. Settlers are not innocent, right? If you are a sentient adult and choose to go settle in an occupied area, you are not innocent. I agree. Isn't every Israeli in the IDF? No. There are some Israelis either that are post-IDF, pre-IDF, or are, radical religious, or I believe Samaritans are excused from IDF service as well. So, thank you so much for people sending likes. We got 100. We're almost going to get 200 people on here. If we can. Hasbro propaganda. What is that? Thank you so much for people coming on here. This boy on TikTok thinks the U.S. cares. I am the U.S., brother. So I don't really know what the distinction here is. I'm an American. I'm a voter. I don't think anyone cares what I think, but I think I am that person. Thank you so much. We got 400 people on here. Okay, 400 people. If there's not one person that disagrees with me, I don't know what we're doing. Send a guest request here. Send a guest request here. Josh, did you know that Palestine offered a two-state solution multiple times and Israel didn't accept it either? Palestine's offer was in line with international law. Israel's wasn't. So Israel offered a solution that would continue violating international law. I call that hostage bargaining. I don't know what you would call it, but send a guest request if you want to talk about it. There are 830 people on here. 800, if 830 people, number one, send likes, send gifts, and share, we can get this live moving so people disagree. Hello.
Howdy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Would you send a guest request to disagree on?
Yeah, I just think I think it's a little dissolute. How do I say it? A little delusional to think that the U.S. would ever one back Palestine, or two, essentially not support Israel. I know, like we can say, like morally it's right or wrong, but in my opinion, this is just a proxy war between the U.S. and Iran.
I mean, okay, we've moved out of proxy wars before. Afghanistan was a proxy war between Russia and the U.S., and then became a proxy war between, in part, Iran and the U.S. We can move back changes. We decrease funding to Yemen. We decrease funding to Syria, right?
True. I mean, I'm just saying that, right now you see a whole collaboration between the Houthis, the Iranian government, and the Hamas and Gaza, and you also don't see like widespread intifadas in the West Bank. So, in my opinion, it's pretty clear that this is a straight up conflict that's U.S. backed and will continue to be a U.S. backed conflict. The one thing that does confuse me, though, is how Saudi Arabia is kind of playing in the middle and trying to essentially appease both sides because they have essentially no interest in seeing a Hamas victory, in my opinion. That's the only thing that confuses me in this conflict.
Other than like any of their people ever supporting their government. Right. So they can't support Israel because then literally everyone in their country ever will hate them more than they
Yeah,
already do.
yeah.
So I think but anyway, so yeah, I think like the one foreign policy comment, like I agree with. There's no real disagreement. It's obviously a proxy war between the West and the East. Whomever we put it on, I don't think it's just the U.S. I think it's basically all of NATO, as headed by the U.S. And then Iran, as well as the other religious the other religiously controlled countries like that, right? Um, there's obviously some support from non-religiously controlled places like Saudi Arabia and Qatar and the UAE. Qatar famously supports Palestine in some forms, and they're not religiously controlled. So it's not clearly Iran because Qatar and Iran don't necessarily align themselves with each other. But we don't really disagree. You just kind of said something. So do you have anything that you disagree with me on?
Yeah, I genuinely do think that if the U.S. essentially allows Israel to be wiped off the face of the map and essentially stops backing them and they get annihilated by their neighbors, which I think is a very real possibility. If there's no U.S. support, that would be essentially a major strategic step back for the U.S. for the past 80 years. I mean, we're talking multi-generational support of Israel, and it's been doing it for a specific reason to antagonize our main adversaries in that region.
Yeah, and that's killed hundreds of thousands of people. So I don't
Yeah.
like it. The fact that we've been run by racists and, colonialists for the past 70, 90 years doesn't mean that we should continue to be. I agree. It's good for the American empire to have an outpost in the Middle East. I don't think the fact that it's good for us means that we deserve it.
Yeah, I just think that it's a little delusional to think that any political party, Republican or Democrat, is going to change it. It's one of those bipartisan issues where this is going to
What
be.
you're saying isn't useful. Do you see what I mean? You're offering nothing of value. You're just saying don't speak. This is actually does kind of annoy me because okay, we see a genocide happening in Palestine. We see hundreds of thousands of people either displaced, dead, or injured, right? And what you've come up is said, well, you can talk about that, right? You can call for America to stop supporting those horrendous things. But I guess America is also a genocidal empire and won't stop doing that. Well, yeah, no, duh. Like, yeah, I'm an American with eyes and ears. I'm aware that we are a genocidal empire, right? But what do you want us to do other than continue holding to them to the bar of the lowest level of humanity of not actively supporting it, right? Like the fact that it's ridiculous that we could ever imagine an America acting morally in foreign, powers doesn't mean that we shouldn't continue trying.
Yeah, I guess my main argument would just be that that's essentially foreign policy is total anarchy. And at the end of the day, yeah, not everything is explained through the lens of proxy war, but every conflict and struggle between the East and the West, no, NATO versus Russia, NATO versus Iran, there is going to be horrors committed by both sides, and that's just geopolitics. I think it's just difficult. I don't really resonate with the, oh, it's morally bankrupt when everything in geopolitics is morally bankrupt.
Then it is morally bankrupt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is both
Okay, then
sides
you're
are
just
morally
accepting
bankrupt.
that we continue to act morally bankrupt. Also, that's not necessarily true, right? Like, when was the last time you saw America openly using chemical weapons? Barely ever. When was the last time you saw America openly using,
I
spray
mean, we use
bombs?
chemical
When
weapons
was
in Iraq.
Yeah, not within the past 15 years.
I mean, I mean,
The
the
point
U.S.
is that
is.
international treaties do work. There's a reason Kosovo exists. There's a reason South Sudan exists. There's a reason that most of the Pacific Islands exist. Like international treaties, international rulings do exist. Diplomacy functions, right? And the pressures from citizens and the pressures from countries functions, at least in some form, especially when you're in America talking about American foreign policy. I don't think we can just give a blank check to anyone who has a military and a gun to do whatever they want.
I think the argument of it's there's international law and we need to respect international law. I think it's been very clear that the U.S. and Russia, neither superpower really wants to actually follow international law. They'll pay lip service to international law, but when it comes down to actual strategic interests, they're very happy to turn a blind eye. I mean, most people agree when the U.S. moved the capital of Jerusalem, that violated every international law there was, and nothing happened because at the end of the day, the UN is toothless.
Once again, you're saying nothing of value.
Okay. I mean, all I'm saying
What
is
do
I
you
just,
want us to do?
in terms of like status quo or
Nothing
like,
at all to cause less people to die.
I think that we're past that point. Like, I think that
So
it
you think
is really going to.
you think it's there's no actions that can stop Israel doing anything.
I,
Because just to
I,
be clear, the UN is not toothless, right? The UN through the ICJ has actually, number one, extraordinarily reduced the human cost of genocides and held the leaders of genocides to account. Look at the Rwandan genocide, right? It did happen, but then not only were UN humanitarian services let in, but the leader of the Rwanda genocide was tried in the ICJ and punished internationally.
and I agree with
So,
you. But that particular case in Rwanda, I would argue that that only occurs when both sides of the superpower conflict don't have a vested interest. So essentially, if you have a superpower backing you, you can get away with war crimes left and right, and we continue to see it.
but the point is there are America and Russia aren't the only countries in the world, right? And actually, we have had to tamper down direct invasions, especially in the Middle East, as Europe becomes more dependent on Iran. Right. You're to the point of simplification of foreign policy that you forget that it's actually quite complex and that sometimes what people think of a certain country matters. And especially Europe, which is becoming a much, much more powerful economic power, has not only a constitutional, but a vested interest in respecting the human rights of people within Palestine, because Iran has a vested interest in respecting the human rights of people within Palestine, and Europe is dependent upon Iran for gas, right? Like America isn't the only thing that exists in this world, and America isn't the only supporter of the IDF, right? So there is a scale to this. And we've pulled out of things before. We've been pressured to pull out of Afghanistan before. We pulled out of a lot of power from Iraq, right? We've done this before. I don't see why we need nihilism now. And more importantly, I don't find a nihilistic view productive at all. You're just saying let them die.
I'm not saying that let them die. I'm just saying that I don't think that there's going to be, a ceasefire. I don't think Israel is going to, abide by a ceasefire. I think that it's not going to end
You're
until they
saying
occupy
you're
Gaza.
saying once again that's not a helpful view. I agree, there probably won't be a ceasefire. What do you want me to do with that information?
I think just along the lines of what's going to happen afterwards. Essentially, what is going to be the fate of Gaza
So what
once
should
the
I
occupation is
advocate
complete?
for? What do you suggest? Do we have a disagreement? Like, do you disagree with advocating, right, for America to reduce their support for Israel? If so, argue that. Have a stance, right? Don't say obvious things such as America is a genocidal empire that's going to do what they want. Because I
Well,
agree.
well, that's where I disagree in the sense of I don't think the U.S. is a genocidal empire. I just don't think
I mean, we're
we're
supporting
not
a
innocent.
genocide in an imperial colony.
Yeah, and when you do that rhetoric, that's when you kind of cross the line and you say, okay, well, is this person going to say that Iran and Russia is the future to counter the genocidal empire? That's my main concern of that rhetoric.
What's the? I don't support any empire. That's the. What's the concern of that? Are you just saying we have a better empire? Actually, argue with the substance of the view. You're just saying, well, the alternative is worse.
Yeah, exactly.
But that doesn't make this less true.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not attacking you and saying that you're
You're
wrong or
not.
that you shouldn't express your freedom of speech. I mean, that's a basic human right.
But that's a nonsense.
You're more
Once
than
again, you're
welcome to
saying something
express
that's obvious.
this.
You're just saying nothing. Once again, this is why I say you're saying nothing of value. You're not responding to the words that I say. Do I don't advocate that Iran has an empire, but equivalently, and for the exact same reason, I don't advocate that America does. Right? And you say, well, you can say that. Well, do you agree? Do you disagree? And if you disagree, have a backbone and defend it. Right?
Yeah,
Or are you just
I would
here
just
to
argue
kind of
that.
pontificate about foreign policy?
Yeah, I would just argue there's always going to be a hegemon. And if there isn't a hegemon, it'd probably be worse, in my view.
I mean, that wasn't necessarily true. I mean, famously in the world, in the Cold War, it was a bipolar world.
Oh, I agree with you. And
So that wasn't a
you can
hegemon.
have multiple hegemons, but what I'm trying to say is that in a world where there is no hegemon and there is no alliances, I think it would be a lot more chaotic. That's all.
A hegemony is singular.
Um, okay. I mean, we could agree on that definition. You would say it was essentially bipolar versus hegemon, and now the U.S. is a hegemon. I would argue we're not even a hegemon at this point. I would argue it's pretty bipolar.
Okay. Then
Um,
us changing our strategy to be more humane is a functional strategy. Like, and also, if we were a hegemony, this advocacy would work better. You understand that, right? Because then your simplistic view is actually true, which is that whatever America does, they can just do. And then, well, I say, well, America should be less of a dick.
yeah, I mean, I think the European Union's been pretty. I haven't done enough research on like European Union policy stance, but I think they've been pretty clear in no military aid to Israel. Stop me if I'm incorrect on that one.
I mean, France sets military aid, not direct military aid, but trade military aid.
Okay,
So, like, they are intelligence backed. So America and the EU have a direct intelligence integration, and so does Israel. So
gotcha.
in my book, that's military aid.
Yeah, I can see. I didn't realize that France was openly essentially supplying intel and firearms to Israel like the U.S. was. But yeah, I agree with you. Like the Europeans are very neutral in this issue, and frankly, I agree with you in the sense that the support of Israel could be a strategic blunder for U.S. interests. I mean, they've always caused as much conflict as they provided essentially benefit. Like I could see the argument that they create more negatives for the U.S. interest than they do positive. The only
Yeah,
other
but that's
counterpoint I would say is they're a nuclear power at this point. So, you know,
yeah, but so is Iran.
I know that's what makes this so scary. Is we're every side has nukes and we're openly engaging in warfare, and the U.S. has sent a quarter trillion to Ukraine. We got U.S. weapons flowing into Israel versus Palestine. The world is, in my opinion, unraveling as we are watching.
Cool. Well, I appreciate coming up. I'm going to find someone who like disagrees in a more direct sense. But I appreciate coming up, and I appreciate your voice. So thank you.
Cheers.
Once again, if you disagree with me, send a guest request down here, and we'll talk. If you disagree with me, send a guest request down here. Oh, he needs content? Yes, he needs content. I am a creator who needs to make content because that is how we get voices out that matter. I love when people do that. Like, yeah, this is what I do. Like, what are you talking about? If you're, keep on sending likes, share it. I have no control over my connection, but I appreciate it. Okay. Also, if you are spamming in the comments, I will mute you. It's really annoying. Um, if you disagree with me, send a guest request, especially if you're spamming in the comments and you disagree with me, send a guest request. Do I support here? What do you mean? Okay. If you are afraid to talk to me, don't be. I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. I love talking. White guy supports Muslim. What? Homie says what? Well, okay. I need someone to debate, brothers. Anyway, okay. Keep on sending likes. We got 33,000 likes. Thank you so much. If you don't follow me already, follow me up here. I do these lives occasionally. I'm going to try and get on a schedule, but I'm also lazy. So I just kind of go on when I can. Yeah, there are white Muslims, everyone. I totally disagree with you, especially in North America and talking about the Middle East. If you don't think that I know enough about this topic, then my tax money should not be going to it. Do we see how that works? If you think that North America shouldn't be messing with the Middle East, you and I agree. Because America should not be funding, Israel, which is in what? The Middle East, right? You call Israel stable? Homie says, what? Don't they have border disputes and border wars like literally ongoing? How is that stable? Also, Saudi Arabia is pretty stable. Qatar is pretty stable. Bahrain is pretty stable. The UAE is pretty stable. What are you talking about? Spewing nonsense. Wait, okay. Israel is more European than Middle East. You are wrong. The people that live there don't change its geography. Israel is being attacked from all borders besides Egypt. Name an attack that came from Jordan. Name an attack that came from Jordan. Please, send a guest request. There are 800 people on me. There are 800 people on here. Send a guest request if you disagree with me. Please. How are there 860 people on here, none of them that disagree with me? That's crazy, bro. Oh, I love Israelis. Like the people. They're great. I have no issue with them. Hello. 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 Oh, glad we're doing well, everyone. Incredible how there's literally no one disagreeing. How is that? There are almost 1,000 people on here. 1,000 people. That's crazy. Okay. Let's see if this is a real person. If not, we're ready. Keep on sending likes, everyone. Share it with people. That's the best way you can do to just support it. If Palestine dropped their weapons, this war would be over now. No, it wouldn't. How do you explain the people that died on October 6th and 5th and 4th and 3rd? Oh, yes. Please. Okay. Thank you to people sending gifts. Thank you to people sharing. Thank you to people liking. Keep on going. Move those fingers. Let's get Zionists who disagree up here. Hello, Denise.
How are you?
Doing real well. How about you?
I'm good, thanks.
What did you send a guest request to disagree on?
What?
What did you send a guest request to disagree on?
Speak slowly. I'm from Israel, so my English is terrible.
Oh, good. What did you send a guest
If you
request
want
to disagree
what?
on?
I don't understand the first point.
You send a guest request? What do you disagree with me on?
Disagree? כאילו מה, לא מסכימה איתו? Oh, this live is for people who disagree with you?
Yes.
So I don't disagree. Like, I support Israel. I'm from Israel.
I do not support Israel.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm done. Sorry.
Oh, good. Why do you support Israel?
First of all, it's because I live here. I see all the what happening. It's how I say this. Sorry, let me find it. It's very different when what you see in the TV and when you live here. In the TV, they can to show you a fake thing in Israel and show you soldiers and next to I'm sorry about my English next to Arabic child and tell you in TV that he want to shot him, but in a reality, you just want to protect them. You understand what I mean? It's very different.
I mean,
I
that's
live.
not really true. It's difficult to suggest that Israel was trying to protect the 20,000 civilians that it's killed, but
Again,
it's difficult to suggest Israel was trying to support the 20,000 children it killed, or the 20,000 civilians that it has
I
killed.
don't say that they support. Of course, if they kill people, we kill because, see, if you see a lion, okay, for example, you see a lion, what do? And you have a gun in your head. What you do? You run away or you shot him?
Run away.
No. If you see a lion and you want to eat you, I don't know.
I run first.
No, you need to shot him, the lion.
I'm a bad shot, my brother. And so is Israel. You know how we know that Israel is a bad shot? When they
Listen,
killed 20,000 civilians claiming they're trying to kill militants. That's stormtrooper aim right there.
Listen, all these years, we want peace with Palestine and Arabic. We try to do this, but they used us, okay? In the 7th October, they used us, and all this time, all the attacks who has in Israel before the October 7, and then they just use us and come to our cities and kill and murder people.
I mean, didn't Israel kill
And guys, if you don't understand me, I'm sorry, because my
hasn't
English is
Israel
really
killed
terrible.
exponentially more Palestinians than Palestinians
Again,
and Israelis?
sorry.
Hasn't Israel killed exponentially more Palestinians than Palestinians have Israelis?
Israel don't come to Palestine and say, okay, now I want to kill people. No, they try to protect.
Then how did they kill 30,000 civilians? How did they do that other than trying to?
Listen, איך אומרים פצצות? I forgot the word, how to say this. Fuck, I forgot the word. I always call the... Oh my god, my English is terrible. I thought that this live is why I support Israel. Like, you know, I try to explain myself, but it's so hard in English.
All good.
I don't know.
All good. Hey, you are.
I'm so sorry, really.
I'm probably going to try and find someone else who disagrees.
Yeah, for sure.
But I appreciate you coming up. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. We got 1,100 people on here. That is incredible. Thank you to the 1,100 people. Thank you to people sending gifts. If you don't follow me already, do follow me up here. And thank you to people sending likes. Both of those boost the live. Thank you so much. Hello.
Hi, hello.
How do I pronounce your name? So sorry.
Oh, it's a nickname. My name is Michal,
Michal.
but it's Michali. You can call me Michal, it's all right.
Michali?
What is there to say?
I don't support
Okay.
the U.S. funding of Israel.
If I support, excuse me, say it again, please.
I don't support the U.S. funding of Israel.
You don't support the U.S. founding of Israel. I don't think they give money only to Israel.
They don't, but I don't support the money they do give to Israel.
Okay, can I ask why?
Because Israel is currently committing a genocide against the Palestinian people.
And you truly believe that?
I mean, yeah, it's almost indisputable.
Why? Because this is what the media show you.
No, because it's literally almost indisputable, right? When we have undisputed numbers of over 20 to 30,000 civilians dying, right? We know that is violating it. When we have Israeli news releasing types of numbers like that, when we have Israeli news noting that up to 90 people died in a refugee camp that they couldn't even verify, Hamas lived in, right? They actually said that it was a mistake. When we have those type of numbers, they're almost admitting themselves to it.
Have you been in Israel?
No, that's why I don't think my money should be going to it.
Okay. First, no, I can relate to what you're saying. But Israel is a country that did help lots of countries and support them with money, like the US is doing.
It sent money to the... What country did Israel send military aid to?
We did support... No, we send military to help, and we have lots of refugees. We have lots of refugees here in Israel.
Where did you send money to?
Our borders are open for everyone
Where did you
that
send money to other
need
than apartheid
a
Africa?
shelter. But please, let me say
Sorry, I'll
something.
ask you the question a fourth time, and I'd love an answer. Where did you send money to other than apartheid South Africa?
Oh, you think it's apartheid also?
No, I said that you sent money to apartheid South Africa, which they did. Where did you send money to?
You said Africa is apartheid. No, I can't
Apart,
hear it. I like
Apartheid South
hearing
Africa
you
was
twice.
apartheid, yes.
Okay,
So
listen.
I'll ask it one more time. Who did they send military aid to? Who are you
Uh,
talking about?
I need to check the facts because I don't
I
want to say
agree.
it. I need to check the facts, but I do know that we did support lots of countries with military and founded and and there was an earthquake in Turkey. You check
So you
it
think
and
you
I check
deserve
it
the right to
also.
commit a genocide because you sent some humanitarian
No,
aid?
no, no. Don't put words in my mouth.
It was
Now,
a
you
question.
ask a question, and there is what you said when you put me on this live. Now, let me respond, okay? Let's
I'd love to,
make it.
well,
Let
weren't able to answer my first question, but you're saying you sent humanitarian
you
aid some
said
places.
you
Cool.
said
I
that
don't doubt that. I
no,
don't
no, no,
doubt
no,
that
no.
you
Wait,
did.
wait, wait. I will not speak with you like that. So please
Okay, then don't speak to me like this.
respect me.
That's
Respect
fine.
me, and I will respect you,
I
okay?
perfectly well respect you.
Thank
Right?
you.
All I wanted, but unfortunately I did have to ask a question 6 times for it to be answered. So that doesn't seem to be mutual.
No,
So
you
let's try
ask
and
a
start again.
question
What is
and you
I
put
don't
the word genocide in my mouth.
No, I
And I
didn't.
never said genocide,
That's
and I
untrue.
didn't agree
It
with you
I was
that
asking you a
Israel is
question.
committing a genocide because she's not.
Well,
Now,
I didn't do that. So
before
that's not
me,
true.
there was a little girl, and her English was not very good. My English is better, but it's not my first language. Okay, so I'm having a struggle answer you. So please don't disturb for 1 minute. Let
Well,
me
I'm not
let
going to let you speak
me
for a minute straight.
put.
No.
Thank you.
I'm not
Okay,
going to.
are you not going to
I
let me
what
speak? So
just
why
to
did
say just
you
to be
bring
very
me
clear.
on this live?
Well,
I don't
I'd love
understand
to have
really.
I said you don't understand me. That's correct. Um, I didn't put words in your mouth, just to be very clear. You accused me of putting words in your mouth, and that's not true. I asked you a question if you believe that the humanitarian aid justified the genocide. That was a question, right? That's fine.
What
Second of
genocide?
which one do you think I was referencing?
What genocide? I'm
I mean,
asking you.
the one that Israel's committing against Palestinians.
So again, you are saying that that Israel is committing a genocide, and I am not agreeing with you.
I'm
So I
aware.
can answer this question. I can answer this question because I'm not agreeing that Israel is committing a genocide.
Then explain that to me. How do you justify the 30,000 civilians who died?
Okay, I am not. First of all, I am not. There's a war going on in Israel and in
That's a
Gaza.
justification.
No, that's a fact. There's a war. War is ugly. Now, if Hamas won't use human as shields and won't put in tunnels with guns and rockets and bombs under schools and under hospitals, maybe we didn't need to come in there or find the terrorists that are hiding in those tunnels. Even the hostages that they took from Israel, they hide those people, those children, those women in the hospital. So we have no choice.
Okay, it's
Now
interesting
I'm
what
telling
English
you
words you do
something.
know.
You
Um,
you live, what? 1 second, please. You
it's
live in the
interesting that you know.
US. You have no
Well, I live
idea
in the. Well, that's not
how it
necessarily true,
is.
but
Where do you live? Do you
I
live in the
split my
Middle
time.
East?
I split my
Do
time
you
between
live
the
in
U.S.
the
and the
Middle
U.
East?
Well, let's calm down.
Okay, can I ask you another question?
No,
Did
because I'd
you
love to be able to answer
ever
your first question.
Did you ever
I said
have
no. You can't
a
ask me a
rocket
question. I'd like to be able to
falling?
finish. I'd like to be able to finish the answer to the first question.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you think that that's fair?
Fair? I think war is not fair.
Okay. I live in the
Did you
U.S. and
ever
I
been in
okay.
a war? Did you experience war? No, really. Did you have a rocket falling from the sky outside your window?
No, that's why I don't want to fund it.
You don't want to fund
You're
it.
laughing. Yeah, I don't want to fund war because I know that
And
it's
you
horrendous.
think that a war cannot be in outside your door one day also.
I have no doubt that war could happen in my door. I have absolutely no doubt about that. I just would not want to fund the bombs that are raining down upon me or anyone else.
Okay, I think it's fair.
So
I
you
don't
agree
know
that
if
America
it's
shouldn't be funding Israel
I
in their war?
agree that if I was an American citizen, I can fight like you saying. It's okay. When I live in Israel, I want to think about my citizens. I want to think about my little girls.
Okay. So
I
you only care about
appreciate,
people that live in your country.
I appreciate the help. Of course, I don't want to support Hamas. I want to support Israel. So yes, I appreciate the help.
Okay.
It's
Well, thank
not
you for
my
coming up.
decision. It's not my decision to make, and it's not your decision to make.
Then we're in agreement. Appreciate it. Let's see if we can get someone who disagrees up here. Okay. There we are. Keep on sending likes. Thank you so much for the people sending likes. Thank you to people sharing, and thank you to people um, doing all that. I post on YouTube, so if you can take a second, go follow my YouTube. All of this will be on YouTube in full length, and you can watch all that if you appreciate what I'm doing. Otherwise, share it so we can get out to more people and get this to more eyes and ears. Hello, Jay Swizzle.
Hello.
Hi, what did you send a guest request to disagree on?
Okay, so I just wanted to talk about the fact that you said that Israel was committing a genocide. Like
Mm-hmm.
that like word specifically like caught my
Yeah.
eye, and that's something that like really like gets to me when I hear people say. Um, if anyone knows genocide, it's Jews. Obviously, the Holocaust was one of
I
the
mean, lots of people have, been victims of genocide,
yeah,
including the Jewish
100%.
people, absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
And that's
But
why they should be speaking the loudest against the actions of Israel currently.
okay,
Because
but I
Israel
want
isn't all Jews and all Jews are not Israel.
okay. Israel, first of all, to say that Israel is committing a genocide is a huge overgeneralization. The
It's not an
Palestinian population,
overgeneralization.
don't talk over me, please. The Palestinian population has exponentially increased since Israel settled in the land, and for you
So
to
is the world population.
okay, and to say that a genocide is happening when when a specific population of people is increasing is just incorrect. Like,
I don't think you know the definition.
what's the definition of a genocide?
What is your understanding of the word?
My understanding of the word of a genocide is a mass murdering of a group of people that causes a population decline, an ethnic cleansing of a group of people.
Okay. Where'd you get that definition?
Do you want me to Google a definition and read it to you? I got that from my own head.
Yeah. You should. I mean,
Yeah.
well, you are you. I have the definition
Okay, go ahead
memorized
and
from
read
the
it. Yeah.
UN. So it's partaking in acts, right, such as murder, mass injury, decreasing living conditions such that it will cause death or lower living conditions, or mass sterilization, or mass or mass, mass, what is it, moving children of that group into the other group. Such targeted at a specific racial, ethnic, or religious minority, so as to, right, destroy in whole or in part, or no, sorry, with the intention to destroy in whole or in part that racial or ethnic group. So it doesn't require that the population has decreased. It just requires that they have the intent while taking these actions to destroy in whole or in part that group, which I would say because of their racial, ethnic, or religious group, which I
Okay.
would say absolutely Israel is certainly interested in. They are explicitly interested in resettling the Palestinians, right? That's forced migration. That is ethnic cleansing. But that resettling comes at the hands of violence, murder, and occasionally changing the hands of children, which all three of those are genocide.
Okay, so first of all, are you aware that Hamas places their weapons and they themselves in the tunnels where Israeli hostages are staying, in underground hospitals, underground elementary schools, underground just general civilian populations. So when Israel, is
I mean,
sending,
I'm aware that the IDF claims that.
okay, and you don't believe
And
that?
I'm aware,
For what
I'm
reason?
aware that the UN released a report, at least on the Indonesian hospital, where they found that Israel's evidence was either inconsistent or entirely unsubstantiated to justify that belief.
Okay, so I'm
So
saying you're seeing, one side of the argument
I
that
just showed you both sides of that argument.
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're telling me that you found a piece of whatever, let's say evidence that Israel was making that up or something like that. But I'm
No, I
to tell you,
referenced the third party reporters and journalists' analysis
okay, a
of
reporter
that
and a journalist,
evidence.
first of all, can be
Wait,
extremely biased.
who has better credentials, right, other than professional journalists,
What
right,
about
and
the
professional
IDF
investigators
themselves, who
to
literally have
investigate a
records of this
journalistic claim?
happening? They have records and documents of this happening, exactly
Wait,
where and when they're going to bomb.
wait,
They
do you know
literally
what the
warn
okay?
Palestinian civilians. They say, this is where we're going to bomb. And this at least happened, I know, in the beginning, like, more towards October 7th. They said, this is where we're going to bomb. This is when it's going to happen. This is why they know why they're sending it, because Hamas leaders
How do
and,
they communicate that to the Palestinians?
I'm sorry, you said what?
You say they say this. How do they communicate that to the Palestinians?
Through, so like online, social media, through,
Online, where there hasn't been internet access to Gaza since October 8th,
no,
and there hasn't been electricity running
first of
through
all,
Gaza since October 8th.
first of all,
How do you expect the Palestinians to get that information
the
online?
Palestinian people have said that is a fact that,
They don't have internet access.
yes, they do. Do you not see people from Palestine posting on,
They were cut off from internet access on October 8th. That was a huge controversy.
yes, I understand that. Okay, and that's, first of all, Israel is in control of Palestinian people because they use their money and their power to send and support. They send food. They send money. They send these things to the Palestinian people, the innocent Palestinian people, the civilians that have nothing to do.
Which they then cut off entirely and criminally after October 7th.
Okay, that's not true. First of all,
I mean, well, no, it is by their own admission. They said that they were not allowing any food, water, or fuel into Palestine, right, following October 7th, and continued that policy until mass amounts of international pressure on October 14th. That means for 7 days, they were committing war crimes against the Palestinians by denying humanitarian access, which they are legally required to under the UN Charter. So, I mean, they're at least a criminal for that.
okay, and you do realize that Israel, one of the things they had to do was to get Hamas to stop bombing their land,
Once again,
was
you're
to
just looking to
threaten them.
justify their criminal acts. That's fine.
Yes.
It did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Justify them more.
No, I'm not trying to justify killing innocent civilians, which, first
That's
of
what you're
all,
doing,
if
because that's
anyone's
what
doing
happens
that,
when you
it's
deny.
Hamas.
But that's what you're doing. I'm not justifying
Can
Hamas.
I
I don't
ask,
support Hamas. You support the IDF. That's the
can I
difference.
ask,
I don't justify any criminals. You justify criminals that look like you.
I do
That's
not,
the difference between
first
you
of
and I.
all, I'm not Israeli, so that's incorrect. But I do not justify anything that's happened to innocent Palestinian civilians.
Okay. Do you think them denying
Wait, can you stop
humanitarian
cutting
aid
me
was
off?
no?
You did
Okay,
that to the
you
last
said
couple
something.
girls too, and I think
do.
it's really, really disrespectful. When you're trying to have a debate with someone, don't cut them off. And you've been doing that this entire time.
Typical.
Okay, so Israel has been sending food, water, medical supplies, all these things to Palestine. Literally Google. You can Google it. You can look
Do
it
you
up.
want to repeat yourself again?
Yes, Israel has been sending food, water, medical help, literally taking.
You want to say it a fourth time?
I'm sorry?
The reason I cut people off is when they're repeating themselves, right? You got mad at me for cutting you off, and then you said things you had already said before.
Yes, I'm trying to restate
Okay.
my
Do you think
sentence
I didn't?
because you
Do you
cut me
think I
off
didn't
and I
hear
lost
you?
my train of thought.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So for you to say that, Israel is taking their power or whatever that they have rightfully gained and using it to kill innocent civilians is incorrect.
Okay,
Yes,
children are innocent.
yes, innocent civilians, I said.
Yeah,
Innocent
and they've
civilians.
killed them.
Yes, but Israel has not said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go kill all these kids. Israel has taken the places where they know where Hamas leaders hide behind. Hamas uses its civilians to protect themselves and to make Israel come out to be the bad guy when they start bombing places where Hamas hides. Hamas hides, like I said, underground schools, underground hospitals, in people's homes. I mean, there's literal video evidence. There is recordings of Hamas admitting this, outright admitting this. We all know that Hamas wants every single Jew in the world dead, which includes me. So that's why I'm sensitive to this subject.
Okay, cool. A debate also is not a monologue, and it
Yep, go
especially
ahead.
isn't a monologue that you've already repeated. So just interpersonally, you see how it's frustrating when I allow you to speak and then you say nothing new, right? Everything you just said, you have already said.
Well,
But
you cut me off
I'll take this
during
this
it,
space.
so
What?
you cut me off the first couple times I said it, so I was trying
Yeah,
to
but
get
then
my
you went a
thoughts
minute
together and
repeating
really
yourself.
explain it. Yeah.
Okay. I will just say I have 2,000 people on here, which is incredible. We want to get more eyes and ears on this issue. So I will just thank everyone. Say, follow me up here. Follow me on my YouTube where I do this exact same type of advocacy, and I have hours and hours of doing this type of advocacy. So if you want to watch it, follow me up here. Follow me on the YouTube. And thank you for the favorite gifts. Thank you for the likes. Absolutely incredible.
First of all,
Let's keep
everyone's
on
saying
going.
I said I'm not Jewish. I don't remember saying I'm not Jewish. I am Jewish. I'm just not
Okay.
Israeli.
So
I want to make
yeah,
that clear.
that's true. So here's the thing. I don't see how this is justified in any way, shape, or form. You said you're not justifying the death of children, and then you justified them denying humanitarian aid. What happens when you deny humanitarian aid? Children die. That's what happens, and Israel knows it. Right? So my bar is international law. It's a very low bar, right? Not charity, not anything else, international law. And part of that is you have to allow humanitarian aid, specifically the Red Cross, into an area. Right? You have to not target civilian buildings unless you can prove, right? Minor exception there, that they're being actively used by military personnel, which Israel has not been able to prove multiple times. Right? Amnesty International released a report on this. Human Rights Watch released a report on this. The UN released a report on this. Reuters released a report on this. Al Jazeera released a report on this. Okay?
Mhm.
They all said that the evidence that Israel provided for a series of bombings of hospitals, they've bombed up to 20 hospitals, right? In northern Gaza, and some in southern Gaza. They've bombed up to 20 hospitals. For multiple of those, the evidence they provided was either entirely falsified, entirely unsubstantiated, or inconsistent. Okay? So this is how defenses in law work. You have to be able to prove them yourself. Israel has not done that. So until they prove it, I'm going to think that they are targeting civilians because they're targeting where civilians are. To your second claim, right, which thank God you didn't repeat, they tell Gazans where they're going to bomb. First of all, if they're doing it online, Gazans don't have electricity. Gazans don't have internet.
Do you want to know why
Doesn't matter.
Gazans don't have electricity and internet, though? Do you want to know
Because
why?
Israel took it away from them illegally.
Yes, and do you know why Israel took it away, not illegally?
It is illegal under international law. That's indisputable. If you think it's justified and international law is wrong, that's a different discussion. But it is illegal.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
If you think the international law is wrong, that's a different discussion. But it is in fact illegal under the Geneva Convention.
Okay, well, Israel, first of all, let's say they took away, they are in control of Palestinian electricity and things like that. The reason they took it away is because they're essentially protesting and saying, we're not going to help your land and help your people out until you return our hostages. Because at the end of the day, Israel's number one goal in this war is to get the hostages back, the innocent people that were taken
Then why
from their
didn't they accept the
homes.
ceasefire offer on the third day?
On the first day, Israel offered a ceasefire and Hamas said no.
And on the
Just
third day,
3 or
Hamas
4 days ago,
explicitly said
3 or
that
4
they would
days
release
ago,
all hostages on an unconditional ceasefire.
3 or 4 days ago, Israel again suggested offered a ceasefire, and Hamas said no again.
I would just like to reiterate that on the third day, Hamas offered a ceasefire.
Okay. And then
Israel didn't
Israel
take it.
offered it again. So
Wait, but you're pretending like it's all about the hostages. Number
yes.
one, Israel, the IDF itself has explicitly said that was not their primary goal, right? Actually, the chief
What
minister
did they
of that
say?
of
What
that
did they
area, they
say?
explicitly said that returning the hostages was a secondary strategic goal behind destroying all Hamas infrastructure and personnel. This was tweeted on Israel's Twitter. Just read it, right? They explicitly said that. So, number one, both me and Israel disagree with your suggestion that the hostages are the number one goal. That's just not true. They've actually verified reports that up to 30 hostages have been killed by Israeli bomb strikes. There's basically no justification for bombing the place that hostages are. So, no, I disagree. Even if you only care about Israeli citizens, right, and you don't give any care to Palestinians.
Oh, I 100% am.
Okay.
My heart is broken for the innocent Palestinian
It doesn't seem
children
like it when you
and people
justify
that are.
genocide as a retaliatory answer.
Again, this is not a
Denying
genocide.
Okay, actually,
This is not a genocide.
one of the qualifying factors was reducing life conditions to the point that there will be either mass death or starvation. That's one of the things one of the actions that can qualify as.
Well, you would think if Israel is threatening to, take away their water and their food and all these things that civilians need to survive, you would think that Hamas would do something about it and say, okay, ceasefire, let's stop doing this. You're destroying our people, we're destroying your people, let's stop this.
They offered a ceasefire.
And Israel offered a ceasefire, what, 4 days ago?
Again, what you're saying is wrong. Like, they did offer a ceasefire. Why did Israel not accept it?
There could be, first of all, there are several reasons that Israel couldn't have accepted a ceasefire. First of all, because when Israel did offer a ceasefire and Hamas accepted, not more than 15 minutes later, Hamas sent another rocket into Israel. So there was actually
Israel
no
violated
ceasefire
the
going
ceasefire
on.
first. This is universally recorded.
Yes, I'm aware.
Israel sent the first missile following the ceasefire, actually. The ceasefire that was a 4-day ceasefire.
That's not true. That is absolutely not true. And I would love to know where you got that fact from. I would love to know where you got that fact from.
I got it from Reuters.
From what?
Reuters.
Okay, well, I just want you to know that that's absolutely not true. And
okay, where'd you get your fact?
I'm sorry?
Where'd you get your information? I've cited me. Where'd you get yours?
So I got mine from, first of all, let's see, who sent the first bomb after?
So you got your information from nowhere, it seems.
I'm sorry? From nowhere?
I mean, you don't know where you got your information. Okay. Interesting strategy there.
First of all, this is like a repeating pattern in history, so I don't need to
It's also a repeating pattern that Israel consistently breaks international law, and they admit it, right? Their occupation following 1967 is and has consistently been ruled to be an illegal occupation. Right, their violation of the Oslo Accords by illegal settlements is self-admittedly in violation of the Oslo Accords. The Israeli ambassador to the UK admitted that they didn't want a two-state solution, which they committed themselves to in the Oslo Accords. Right, it's indisputable that Israel's a criminal nation, right? But you continue to justify their criminal behavior, right? And when someone acts criminally and that results in people dying, specifically when it results in people of a specific national, ethnic, or religious group dying, we call that genocide.
Okay, well, I think that you have a lot of facts that are twisted, and
Name one.
I want to know when you started supporting Palestinian people. That's what I want to know.
As soon as I was cognizant of the issue, so about 6 years ago.
So October 7th?
6 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sure. I'm sure that you've been an activist for Palestinian civilians since 6 years
I've supported the issue. It didn't involve mass death up until October 7th. Right,
well,
but I love that you laugh.
This is
no one else knows about this
blame.
issue, right? I've had Jewish friends growing up. I've known about this issue. I've been aware of this issue. Part of my family is Jewish, right? For you to, laugh at the idea that no one knows about this issue other than you and your in-group is absurd.
Right, that's exactly what I said.
I've supported the Palestinian cause for the past 6 years.
As the last lady said, you're putting words in my mouth, and that's a really good tactic when you're trying to get people to agree with you in your debate. You're making things up that I never said. You said that I support Palestinian children dying and innocent Palestinians
No, I
dying, which,
didn't.
first of
No, I
all,
didn't.
never
I said you
ever
attempt
did
to
I say
justify
that.
it.
No, you did. It was a couple minutes ago. You said
No, I said that you
you
attempt to
said essentially
justify
you
it. I
said
remember
that.
exactly what I said. I
Right.
said that you attempt to justify it, and then you went on to justify it.
I'm not justifying
Okay,
any.
was Israel justified in denying humanitarian aid?
No, I don't think that.
Okay,
But
so
I'm
do you
telling
condemn
you,
Israel for denying humanitarian aid following October 7th?
sorry?
Do you condemn Israel for denying humanitarian aid for following October 7th?
No, I don't. And
Okay.
okay.
Then I don't know, because you said you know why they're doing that, to punish them for their actions. That's a justification. If you give me a because, that's a justification. If denying humanitarian aid causes children,
Sorry, you just went
so
off.
denying humanitarian aid causes children to die. So when you justify them by, denying humanitarian aid, you are justifying children dying. I'm correct. I didn't say anything that's wrong.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you maybe I'm not. I wouldn't say that I condemn it because I understand the reasoning behind why this is happening, like I said before, and I feel like you kind of just keep like glazing over the fact that like there is a reason why Israel's doing this. I don't know why Israel would want to kill innocent Palestinian civilians who are peacefully living where they live, and Israelis are peacefully living where they live. There's been a lot of silence up until October 7th when Hamas sent the first bomb. Obviously, we know Israel did not start this war. Israel's only using
in 1948 it started this war.
Okay, but I'm talking about the silence, not silence, but the
silence in the forms of billions of military aid dollars going to your country. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, what do you mean
silence?
By country?
Country you're supporting, Israel.
Okay, well,
the billions and billions of dollars in direct military integration on the Israeli issue, the billions of dollars that AIPAC have access to in America, that silence, the hundreds of thousands of dollars that was spent on my Jewish friends going to Israel to visit on a propaganda trip,
the
that
propaganda
silence? What are you
trip. Okay.
Yeah, no, the birthright is a propaganda trip. That's it's
okay.
literally in their propaganda wing.
I
Right?
will
What are
let you know
about?
that I spent the last year living in Israel on a gap year, and you have never been to either of these countries. So
Yeah, I don't. So therefore, I don't think I should be funding them.
Okay, well, that's good for you. I respect your opinion. I think that you should, next time you let someone on, you should stop cutting them off and trying to amp them up, because I think it's a very bad debating tactic and it makes your point.
If you want to complain, that's fine, right? But you're not saying anything of value by complaining. I disagree. Okay, see? Interesting strategy there, everyone. Okay, well, here's the thing. This is going incredibly. Thank you so much, everyone. 2,300 people on here. We need to get more lives like this. So thank you so much. Love you all. If you don't follow me already, follow me up here. Follow my backup, Wills.spam. That would be great. And do go follow my YouTube. That means the most. TikTok does not like me. I'll say it again. TikTok does not like me, right? They keep taking away this account. So if you want me to be able to continue speaking like this, go follow my YouTube, okay? Now, thank you to people sending gifts. That means so much. And thank you to people who follow, and thank you to people sending likes. That means a lot too. Wonderful. Keep on. Send a guest request if you disagree with me. Don't send a guest request if you agree with me. I love you all so much, but please don't send a guest request if you agree with me. It's just really annoying. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, would you send a guest request to disagree on?
I just feel like you're being a bit disrespectful to people and you're not really trying. I feel like I completely see where you're coming from. I really do. I just think that you're not really thinking about the other side. And I think that like you also need to remember that Israel is trying to defend itself. Let's say somebody bombed the US. The US isn't just going to sit there. The US is obviously going to defend itself and bomb back.
Yeah, this isn't a let's say. We did that following 9/11, and it killed hundreds of thousands of Pakistani, Iraqi, and Afghani people. And I don't support those actions either.
Okay,
so the question, right? We have active military going on now.
Okay, so then I'm just
and
curious.
I don't support it either, even when it's personal.
Okay, so I'm just curious, what do you think would be an alternative then for Israel?
I mean, first of all, they were offered a ceasefire the third day. They should have taken that if they cared at all about equal people, right? But also Palestine, right? The PA has offered a multiple two-state solutions that maintain Israel and maintain Palestine, right? One was negotiated under the Oslo Accords, which Israel has consistently violated, and one under the Camp David Accords that Palestine offered a two-state solution returning to the 1967 borders. Israel denied the two-state solution offered by the PA, right? Despite it being perfectly well in line with international law. Israel has only maintained violations of international law. So I think the first move is to get both sides following the law, right? Which is what the PA does, and Israel does not. And as long as Israel maintains illegal occupations of Palestinian areas, I don't see peace happening.
Personally, I don't see peace happening because the Palestinians don't want to. And also,
Once
Israel,
again, they offered a peace treaty that followed international law. Israel denied it and continued being criminal. Oh, I don't know where she went, Queens. Well, very cool. Once again, please send a guest request if you disagree with me. If you don't, don't. She did run. That's unfortunate. Hello, Abs.
Hi.
Would you send a guest request to disagree on?
So, I just personally, in your opinion, what do you think could be done to improve the situation? Because I
think
disagree.
Israel should return to the pre-1967 borders
Which
and
was
stop
what? Which in your opinion was what?
That's not an opinion. We can look at a map. I mean, do you
Go
know
on
the
then.
pre-1967 borders?
Yes, very well.
Okay, those. So they should return to those and then end being criminal, as was offered by the PA, right? And as was ruled justified under the ICJ.
Okay. And did you gain all of these facts and research from Wikipedia? Is this recent knowledge that you've just acquired yourself upon, or have you always, followed these opinions, or is
I
this just a
haven't
new
always known
discovery?
everything I know now, but I've been pro-Palestinian for quite a while. But also, this
Um,
information isn't really subjective. It kind of just exists like as truth. And also, my personal background isn't really relevant to the debate.
wasn't asking about your personal background.
That is my personal educational background.
That you have known these facts for longer.
Well, I'm just saying it's irrelevant how long I know the facts insofar as them being true.
So you don't think that what happened on October 7th made you go onto the internet and choose a side?
I had been supporting Palestine personally, right, for a very, very long time, right? I did massively increase the amount that I discussed this because it became a notably more hot war, right? Meaning that more and more people died. So yes, I care about an issue when more and more civilians die. Can you fault me for that?
No, can't fault you for it, but I do
Okay, then
think that
don't talk about the issue.
I'm very happy to talk about the issue.
Then do.
Okay, and your opinion, I'm just trying to get the backstory of where it came from so I'm able to deal with this correctly and talk to you correctly. So you're from the US and you're a pro-Palestine supporter,
Pro-Palestinian liberation, yeah.
Okay. Now, do you have any idea of the type of attacks that took place on 7th of October?
Yes.
Do you deny it happening, or do you
Do I deny that violence happened on October 7th? No.
You don't deny it, so you agree with it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you were in Israel, yeah, and someone came in on your holy day and attacked you, you put your hands up and you stand there and you let them?
No.
You let them rape your baby? You let them put your baby in the oven?
Let's try and use TikTok friendly language so we don't get
You
taken
do
out.
that to your baby, you put your
Do
baby
I
in the
believe that
oven and
Israel has
and
the
you
right to
stand
defend
there?
itself? Sorry, do I
And you
believe that
stand
Israel
there?
has...
You're gonna stand there
Do you
and you're
want to ask
gonna
the
let
question again?
you're gonna let someone come into your home on a holy day when you stood there with your family after making dinner, and you're gonna stand there and you're gonna let them do these atrocities to your family.
Do you want to ask that a third time?
Answer it then.
I tried.
Go on then. Answer it.
Wonderful. Do I believe Israel has the right to defend itself? Yes. Do I believe that do I believe that that's what Israel's doing? No. And I also believe that Palestinians have the right to defend themselves. I do not support what happened on October 7th, and I never will. But I also do not believe that Israel, right, was ultimately, right, was the second person to enter this war. Israel was the first. They have been illegally occupying Palestine at least since 1967, right, and much more prior to that. Okay,
Okay, but what about
Israel
when the
is the
state
aggressor and
was
always has
given
been.
to the country?
What?
When the state was given to, when the country was given to the people of Israel?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looked drastically different than what it did now, and also that was never ratified. The partition
that was
plan was
never
never
ratified,
ratified because it required Palestinian support.
which was actually given.
Palestinian support was not given for the partition plan. That's
Well,
not
it
true.
was because they were still living there to these days. Do you know what
When
type of
did
people live in the
When
West
did
Bank?
Palestinian support go to the partition
Okay,
plan?
question. Have you ever even been to the Middle East?
No, that's why I don't think my money should be going to it. Syria, Lebanon,
On either side.
Israel.
On either side.
I mean, I don't believe my money is going to Palestine, so that's not really a question, is it?
So you don't think about what you're doing on social media right now means that some of your funding is going towards this?
Literally $0 of my American funding are going towards the current militants within Palestine. No.
Okay, and all of your followers, yeah, when you talk this rubbish, you do realize that people
I'd love for
stand
you to
and listen
engage
to
with the
you.
rubbish rather than personally attack.
I'm not personally attacking you.
Okay, then try and address my ideas and my rhetoric,
Okay,
right?
if
Rather
someone has
than
come
my
into your
social media presence
country,
and
if
existence.
someone has come into your country on your holy day, slaughtered children, burnt them, done some horrendous things, yeah, you think our country, our one and only country, yeah, is going to stand there and let this happen, okay?
What do you think
If
that Palestine
Israel,
should do when Israel kills children?
you know they are warned.
What?
You know that they are warned, right? You know
Sorry,
that
no, 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 no,
the
sorry,
IDF
sorry,
sends out
sorry. No,
warnings.
wait, sorry. The children are warned?
The families, the people, there are
The
children that are
people on life
warned.
support are warned?
So, okay, you're telling me that Hamas can keep all their bombs, their rockets, everything in a
No,
hospital,
abs,
and
abs. Sorry, you're
we're
missing my
gonna turn
point.
a
You're
we're gonna
missing. No,
turn a blind eye
I'm
to
gonna
it?
talk over you because you are missing my point.
They are warned.
Children died in 2022 and 2021 and 2020 and
Okay.
2019.
Okay.
Okay,
And what
lots
about
and
all the
lots of
children in
Sorry,
Israel?
sorry.
What
Lots and
about
lots
all
of
the children in
Palestinians.
Israel?
Lots of Palestinians died. Then, what do you think Palestine should do about that?
What do I think, Palestine? I'm not going to give you
Yes,
my opinion,
I want to
personal.
know.
No.
I'm not Israeli. I'm not Palestinian. Are you Israeli?
Why do I need to answer that question?
You asked me the exact same question.
Why do I need to tell you?
You don't need to do anything. I just think if you ask me a question, I think you should be willing to answer the same type of question.
Well, I don't feel
Do you
comfortable.
think that Palestinians have the right to defend themselves?
Yes,
Okay, how should that
in
look
every
when
matter.
Israel internationally, or how should that look when Israel illegally occupies their land? What should they do?
When we illegally occupy their land.
As was ruled by the ICJ following the 1967 occupation.
Okay, and you do realize we are funding all of their electricity, their
Can you answer my
water.
question?
You do realize that. So we're
Can you
not
answer my question?
occupying the land.
Well,
You know,
so the
everyone
ICJ,
in
so
Gaza,
the ICJ ruled that you were occupying their land.
everyone in Gaza has the right to work in Israel. They are all offered the chance. They are all offered a card to come in
Do you know
and
what an
work.
occupation means?
Yes, of course I know what an
Could you describe
occupation
to me
means.
what
You
you mean by
clearly
an
haven't
occupation?
looked at a map. Like, the country was given to the Jewish people after the Holocaust. Like,
I mean, Jewish people had been moving to that area since at least the 1880s.
moving to that area, they lived in that area before it was even called Israel.
Yes. Well, depends when you're thinking, but that's besides the point. Abs, how should the Palestinians defend themselves when Israel illegally occupies their area, as was ruled by the ICJ? Do you deny that Israel is occupying Palestinian territory?
Palestinian territory. You're calling Gaza Palestinian territory.
I'm calling all of the territory that was taken illegally following the 1948 war Palestinian
The
territory.
entire country. You're talking about the
Abs,
entire.
do you know what the partition plan map looked like?
Yes.
Did that include all of the current Israeli territory?
It's very much similar.
It's very much similar?
It's very much similar.
1 second. Just give me 2 seconds, everyone. Stay on for like Okay. This is very much similar to the current map. Abs, can you
One
see my
second,
screen?
I'm just looking at it.
Does this resemble very much the current map of Israel?
I mean, pull up a map right now.
Well, while we do that, if anyone thinks that this looks drastically different than what Israel currently claims, y'all should follow me because you have more than two neurons. So thank you so much. And you should follow me on YouTube as well because I have more content like this. So, drastically different claims. These are drastically different, like, land claims, everyone. Abs, you still there?
Yeah, I said pull up a map.
This is the partition plan. Do you not know what Israel looks like
No, I
currently?
said pull up a current map. I said that.
You do you not? I will only do that if we don't know what it looks like because that's a waste of time.
Well, go pull up a current map.
I mean, okay. Oh, oh, she dipped. In case anyone is wondering, those seem drastically different to me. Just a little bit, like that and that. Just un poco different. Just un poco different. Okie dokie. Let's keep on getting disagreeers up in here. Send a guest request if you disagree with me. Do not send a guest request if you agree with me. It'll be really awkward, everyone. Okay. Thank you so much for everyone. I didn't kick her. Why would I kick her? She was such good entertainment. Hello.
Hi, what's your name? Will?
Yes.
Hi, Will. Are you Palestinian or Israeli?
No.
No. Have you ever been in Israel?
No, that's why I don't think my money should be going to it.
Oh, really? Have you ever been in Gaza? I'm sure
No,
they're
that's why I
gonna
don't think
like
my
you
money should
there.
be going to bombing it.
No, I'm sure they're gonna like you over there. You should go.
I don't need people to like me in order to think they shouldn't be genocided.
No, I don't think they're gonna do for you something. Don't worry.
Once again, I don't need people to like me for me to respect their human rights.
I think
If
you
that is
should
a
take.
requirement for you to respect people's human rights, then that gives a
I
lot
think
away.
you need to take a flight to straight to Gaza. I want you to be there
How would we do that
with
when
your
Israel
friends,
bombed their
with
airport?
your friends leader, with your
How
friends
would we
leader.
do that when Israel bombed their airport?
Oh, they had a airport, Israel. Oh my God, I didn't know that. What airport it's called?
Gaza had an airport.
Yeah, what's the name?
Don't know the name off the top of my head.
How old are you? Like 14, right? 16?
Try
How
a
old
little
are
harder.
How old are you? Are you 16, 14 years old? What's your
I'm
age?
19.
You, yeah, you
Do you
sound
think
like.
that age? Do you think that age is relevant to the
I think,
discussion of
I
whether
think,
Israel's a genocidal nation? Like, genuinely,
I
you come up
think,
here laughing and lighthearted, right? When we are
I
talking,
think
when
you
we are
need to
talking
go
about
back
the
to
death
school.
of
I think they
hundreds
kick you out
and
from
hundreds and
school.
thousands of
I
people,
think they kick you out from school, honey.
brother, I'm
You
currently.
don't know history.
What are
You
you
don't know
talking about?
history. You don't know history.
I st- I'm currently in school, by the way, but send a guest request with me if you actually want to talk.
Hey,
Hello. Oh, a. I appreciate coming up. I'm just gonna try and. Sorry. And just for efficiency's sake, everyone, if you agree with, I'm going to say it again so I don't have to do that more. If you agree with me, don't send a guest request. Do we understand? It's a very simple instruction. Yasser Arafat.
What's up,
Hi,
mate?
would you send a guest request to disagree at?
Well, I'm just disagreeing with. Well, don't you think I'm not the most educated, but I do know a few things. So obviously the IDFs are fighting the terrorists, aren't they?
And the children and the women and the civilians.
That's
And they're doing a
not
pretty
their.
good job against the women and children, but not the best against the terrorists who live in Qatar.
Yeah, but they're not killing as many civilians as Hamas is, are they?
No, actually, self-admittedly, it's at least a 2-to-1 ratio, according to the Palestinian, Ministry of Health. It's more like a 10 to 1. But according to even IDF numbers, it's 2-to-1. So.
Well, then I've been flabbergasted, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you coming up.
Well, yeah, I apologise about the people getting, actually pointing, getting mean to you. It's meant to be an argument.
It's what the internet is.
When they're getting personal, that kind of sucks, doesn't it?
We lost.
Talking about your age when you don't look 14, mate. You look.
It can be good content. But anyway, I appreciate coming up. I'm going to find someone who disagrees.
Anyway, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, I've just been. I can't even think right now, mate. I'm about to go to sleep. I would give a bigger argument, but I really can't be asked anyway. Everyone have a good day.
Well, go sleep, girl. Go sleep, girl. Wonderful. Thank you so much for people sending likes. Thank you to people sending gifts. Thank you to people sharing. It means the most and helps the most get this out to more eyes and ears. And if you want to support me more, I do have my cash in my bio. Honestly, this is effort, and we do effort. I have my Patreon, where I post these lives quite often. I think I have 400 lives posted on here, and follow my YouTube as well, where I upload these if you want to watch more of this. So thank you so much, and I love you all. Do I speak French? No, I don't speak French, my loves.
Me?
Yes, hello. What did you send a guest request to disagree on?
Yeah, I do. I have one question. Do you support sending money to Ukraine?
Do I support sending money to Ukraine? I think it's a drastically different question. Why is it relevant?
I'm Ukrainian. That's why I'm supporting it. It's like a prerequisite for my next question, for my debate.
Okay, yeah. In some form or fashion, I believe we should support militarily Ukraine.
Yeah, military. So you know about massacre in Ukraine, about Irpin, yeah? You know about that?
Yeah. Like, what's the relevance to the Israeli question?
I'm just talking about, let's switch to relevance. So, United States should support Israel. It's definitely the most logical question. When you ask why, civilians, children dying, ask Egypt to open their borders. Egypt can open their borders. Poland, for us.
I mean, it did following 1967. Egypt Israel never let the Palestinians back in.
But Gaza has a border with Egypt. They can let them in.
Just to be, once again, you all have the same talking points. Jordan accepted thousands and thousands of Palestinians.
But we don't.
Egypt accepted thousands and thousands of Palestinians. And you know what happened? Sorry, Henry. You know what happened when they accepted them in? Israel never let the Palestinians back into their homeland.
They migrated away. Ukrainians.
No, they were forcibly displaced. That's the language we use when we talk about refugees.
Ukrainians. We have Ukrainians who moved away.
Been forcibly displaced.
From
the Donbas region.
I'm Ukrainian.
And many have been forcibly displaced.
Wait.
What forcefully displaced have the right to?
I know what does it mean. I'm in Ukraine. In Ukraine, we have people who are forcibly displaced. People who wanted to stay in the country and couldn't leave. Those people, they migrated to other parts of the country. So they migrated to West Bank and migrated to Gaza. People who wanted to migrate away, Poland opened for our country to move away children and women. Why don't in humanitarian way, Egypt don't open a way for children to move away? Egypt should open the border. Because
should Israel open the border?
Israel was okay. Should we, as Ukrainians, for example, should we send people to Belarus or to Russia? It's insane. It's saying we don't
Wait,
send our children.
Henry, I'm sorry. You understand, first of all, that that something like 80% of Jordanians are Palestinian, right?
It's their land is Palestine, but then they call Jordanians, they're Palestinians. They have the two states. You have three states. You have Gaza, you have West Bank, and you have Jordan.
But well, Gaza and the West Bank are one state.
Well, no, Gaza. You have Gaza. It's Hamas, controlled by Hamas. You have
I
West
can't hear
Bank
you
that's
as well,
controlled
Henry, right now.
by PLO, and you have Jordan.
I think you moved your mic.
You
There
have
we are. That's
you have
better.
you have Jordan. Basically, if we say it's Palestinian, so it's Palestinian state already. It's a Jordan. It's even flags
Well,
are
Jordan's different
literally
than
the same.
Palestine regionally, but
But
ethnicity
people
is
move,
different than a
people move
country.
away. You know the part of Ukraine, Kuban, part that currently is part of Russia. Previously was a part in the maps. It was Ukraine, like pretty much the same years. Borders change.
Henry, I'm not really getting the connection to Ukraine.
Because
the point. One second, Henry. If you want to advocate for a mass migration to Egypt, that would still constitute Israel causing ethnic cleansing.
It's not mass migration. I asking only for civil, for women and children, for temporarily, women and children.
Temporarily, but that's what they advocated for. Sorry, but if that was true, then Israel would be accepting Palestinians that they forcibly displaced in the 1948 war.
What about Egypt?
And the 1968 war.
What about Egypt? Why Egypt doesn't open
has
the border?
accepted, sorry, once again, Egypt
Children,
has accepted
right now?
hundreds of thousands of
Right now?
Palestinians in the past. But Henry,
what
you're advocating is
talking
ethnic
about right
cleansing. What you're advocating is ethnic cleansing.
No. Is it ethnic cleansing to let children, Ukrainian children, out in Poland, we let our
Henry,
children...
it is ethnic cleansing to justify a genocide
it's not
by
ethnic
saying
cleansing.
they could just leave anyway.
You understand that, for example, Ukraine, children and women can leave the country temporarily
I'm
to
aware.
not be bumped.
And me blaming people dying in Ukraine on other countries not letting Ukrainians in would be justifying ethnic cleansing.
Yes.
And Russia is currently committing ethnic cleansing in, for example, the Donbas regions.
Donbas region for us as Ukrainians, Donbas region and Lugansk region are the same as for Israel, West Bank and Palestine. There are terrorists that was since 2014. There are terrorist organizations supported by Russia, supported by Iran. There are basically terrorist run.
Henry, I don't want to continue this random word association game.
You're white.
I want you to understand what I'm saying.
Anti-Semitic.
I want you, Henry. You're literally. It does feel like I'm just playing word association. You just hear Donbas region.
I'm not even a Jew, but you're hating Ukraine, you're hating Jew.
I want you to
You're
understand
what I'm saying. You're a terrorist supporter. You're just a terrorist supporter. You understand that? You support terrorism. If you didn't support, you would ask Egypt, please take children. Please take children. Egypt, open border. Right now, okay, let's forget about history. Right now, open children, help people. No, you don't say, oh, Egypt, open border. Why don't you call for Egypt to open border? It's so hypocritical. You're so, for civilians, for Palestinians. Ask Egypt to open border for children and women.
Henry, did you ever ask me if I supported Egypt opening the border?
Okay, then right now...
You just accused me of supporting terrorists.
Yes, you support terrorists.
Accused me on the basis, you accused me on the basis of something I never said. How dare you?
Because
do you want to try again,
American
Henry? Do you want to redact your statements and try again? Sorry, Henry. Henry, I'm not gonna. You
go back to your country where
ultimately.
You're white.
Henry, no. Henry, I'm gonna start using the admin powers.
You're white.
If you're going to accuse me,
you're white.
Of support, Henry. If you're going to accuse me of supporting terrorists,
you are.
You better not lie in the justification. Did you ever ask me if I believe that Egypt should open the borders?
I've heard your previous arguments. And you implied it.
Did anyone ever ask me?
You implied that.
I implied it.
Yes. You said,
Why don't
oh,
you ask me
Egypt,
directly? But why, Henry? Why don't you ask me directly before you accuse me of
okay,
supporting
do
terrorists?
you so why don't you go out and post like 3 or 5 or 10 TikToks about Egypt, please
How
open
many
borders for
TikToks
civilians?
me calling to Egypt to open their borders would be enough for me not to support terrorism?
Because if you
If you're
support
going to accuse me of that
civilians live,
despicable action, explain to me how can I avoid that, Henry, in your book?
if you want to support Palestinian people, ask for civilians, for children, and for women who want to leave war zone. Ask Egypt to open borders to let them in. You don't do that. You just blame
Because
Israel.
I advocate, because the first issue, the
No, because you
primary
want to
issue.
kill them. You want them to die. You want them to be human shield from Hamas.
Okay. The primary reason I do that, Henry, is because
Primary reason you
I'm
don't care
wanting.
about
Sorry,
Gaza.
Henry, let me speak, please. Do you think that it's fair that when I let you speak, you also let me speak?
Yeah, just
How
taking
old are you,
revenge for
Henry?
everyone else.
Can I ask you how old you are?
Yeah,
How old are you?
20.
Can you act like it?
Can you act like
Can you
you're
act like an
19?
adult and let me speak?
Sure. Go on.
Wonderful. Let's try and do that.
I'm listening.
I believe that Egypt should accept refugees from Palestine. But it is exponentially more important that we stop creating refugees from Palestine, because that is ethnic cleansing. So when you see ethnic cleansing, when you see a forced migration, the first issue is not where are we going to force them to migrate? It is how do we stop them from being forced to migrate? I believe ultimately the blame rests with the people causing the migration, not the people that are not enabling the violation of international law and fundamental human decency. That's incredibly obvious. My focus is on solving the problem, not alleviating the symptoms.
Yeah. Do you want to see my on the international law? International law, like first, you said justice, but you know it's justice court, not criminal court. It's like some difference might be researched in the future. That's first. And
I'm
second,
aware of the distinction
yeah,
between the
and second,
ICJ and the
you
ICC.
know,
They are accountable to both, though.
and you know what about when it's talking about war crimes? Oh, war crimes, Israel committed war crimes, but when Russia committed war crimes in Ukraine, nobody fucking arrested Putin.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying no one talked about it, because that would be
Nobody
insane.
arrested Putin. South Africa that sued Israel. South Africa that sued Israel didn't want to arrest Putin for the
Wait,
same
Henry,
reason.
do you not think
Because
that most of the country or most of the world did not actively condemn Russia? And also, we
not
did
condemn.
indict. Sorry. The ICJ did indict Putin.
And I'm not talking about ICJ. I'm talking
But so
about
did the
South
ICC.
Africa. I'm talking about South Africa.
No, I know you're talking because they're under the genocide accords. No one is really accusing Russia of committing genocide against Ukraine. That's
There
a
is
different
war
discussion.
genocide in Ukraine about
What?
Russia in Irpin.
Yeah, but just to be
Yeah.
clear, Henry, we did indict Putin and most of the Russian leadership, right, with violating international law and international war crimes.
And what happened to Russia? Nothing. Nothing happened
Wait,
to
but
Russia.
what's
Russia still
happened
standing.
to Netanyahu? Nothing.
For us, for Ukrainians, our
No,
position.
I'm
Ukraine
Henry.
is Israel.
I'm saying yes.
Russia is
Wait, sorry,
Palestine.
Henry. I don't care really. Right? We're not talking about Russia or Ukraine. You can use them as examples, right? But that's not what we're talking about. Okay, this is ultimate whataboutism, right? You're bringing this discussion in a place totally irrelevant. Because first of all, Russia was sanctioned. What happened to Russia? They stopped economically working with basically anyone in the West. First of all, so that actually did, and that was international law. So, and second of all, who has sanctioned Israel? Basically, no one.
Iran.
So if we want to talk about
Iran sanctioned Israel.
brother, Iran didn't sanction Israel following October 7th. Iran has had a blockade against Israel for the past 30 years.
Because they're anti-Semitic, like most
No,
countries.
Henry. Once again, you say something that's wrong. I correct you, and then you give a justification for it being wrong. That doesn't make it true. Just to be very clear, Henry, what is your point about international law? That it doesn't matter? That it's not true? What's your point?
My point about international law is that people like you don't look at about what's happening in Congo or what happened to Uyghurs in China or what happened to Pakistan.
Wait, you don't think the leftists, sorry, that's not true. You don't think leftists stood up and advocated against the Uyghur genocide happening in China?
They stood up, but you scream about Palestine 90% of the time and about other issues
Bro,
silent.
what? No, we did speak up against the Uyghur.
What
and also,
now?
the fact, sorry, just to be clear, the fact that you don't speak up about one doesn't mean that you shouldn't speak up about another.
But it's just show you because it's Jews who are now defending themselves. You're hating because they're Jews. Because when the Muslims do that or Christians
Oh, that's
do that
such
or any other,
nonsense,
you don't
Henry.
care.
That's such utter nonsense. First of all, we did condemn China in their actions against the Uyghurs. We did.
What
We
about
spoke
Sudan?
up against
What
it.
about Sudan? What's
You can
happening
do
in
this
Sudan and
forever.
Congo?
You can do this forever, Henry. Right?
It's currently happening.
Sorry, Henry. The difference is millions of my tax dollars aren't going to China.
They go
The difference
to China.
is, sorry, Henry. Difference is millions of my tax dollars aren't going to Sudan.
They're
Actually,
going
just
to
to be
Sudan.
clear,
It's
sorry, just to be
voluntarily.
clear, Henry, what about Sudan? America spent millions and millions of dollars, right, separating Sudan into, hear me out, South Sudan to end the ethnic violence in Sudan. So what about, right, we can go out, what about? Tell me an American ally that millions of American dollars are going towards that are committing these, and I will find them disgusting and despicable, but you can't. Because what Israel is doing is exceptionally bad, especially for someone that hundreds and hundreds of thousands of my dollars are going towards. You see the difference. It matters when it's my ally a whole lot more than a person I am at war with. When Syria does something bad, right? Yeah, of course we don't like Syria. When China does something bad, we're like, yeah, of course we don't like China. We already don't work with them. We already don't give our money to them. But when Israel, a close ally of America, does something bad, we should condemn it to the world.
It's not bad. It's not bad for
I know,
them.
Henry, that's the whole point. Is you believe that, right? But before we have that discussion, you will take any route conceivably to get out of that discussion. You think that if I haven't called out every single bad thing in this world, then me condemning Israel is anti-Semitic? That's utter nonsense. That's utter nonsense.
When
Of course it's
you
horrendous.
when you point
When my ally does something, that is me doing something. And when my ally commits genocide, that is me committing genocide. And I do not want my country and my taxes going to genocide. That
but
is
you support
different.
you support not supporting your ally. You're not supporting your ally, basically ally.
Not if they commit genocide. No,
it's not genocide.
They cease to be my friend when they murder someone.
What about people murdered on October 7th? When by Gaza,
once again, all you can do, Henry, is a whataboutism.
On October
whatever
7th,
happened on October 7th is irrelevant to it being a genocide.
It's irrelevant.
Whatever happened, sorry,
it's a
Henry,
reason of
whatever
war.
whatever happened in China is irrelevant to it being a genocide. Whatever happening in Ukraine is irrelevant to being genocide. The whataboutism.
There is no genocide.
I know.
He's
Henry,
lying.
Henry. I know you keep repeating that, but your only argument is, look, other bad things happened. I don't doubt that other bad things happened. Henry,
your argument is
sorry.
75 years bad things happened. Your argument for that, you justifying that. Your argument, 75
I do just
years
want
bad
to
things
clarify.
happened.
I'll just clarify a previous statement of mine. The person commenting about Syria. America is not an ally of Syria, right? That's why I said, of course, we don't like Syria. That's shorthand. I have nothing against Syria, obviously. I have nothing against, China as a country. I have nothing against most any country, right? I was just saying they're not our allies. That's all I meant by that. Anyway, do you believe, right, Henry, that the argument, look, if I say, hey, look at this bad thing, do you believe that it's an acceptable argument to say, actually, no, why don't you talk about this other bad thing? Do you see how that's a fallacious argument?
I see how you look at one bad argument, oh, it was bad that happened on October 7th, but it was 75 years of occupation and they never agreed, and all of this backfired. And when everybody tells you about other side, bad sides that Gaza committed and terrible terrorist Islamist ideology committed there, you're, oh no, it's completely different, it's completely irrelevant. It's what you're talking about.
Wait, no, I said that it was irrelevant to whether it's a genocide or not. I condemn Hamas.
Do you commend jihadists, civilians, not Hamas, civilians, jihadists who live there? Civilians, jihadists.
Henry, you're moving your mic around a lot. I can't hear you.
They're not Hamas, civilians, jihadists who live there.
What
Do
are
you
they
condemn
doing?
them?
Are you talking about their ideology?
Civilians, jihadists who live in Gaza.
Are
They're
they doing
civilians.
it? So
They can be
jihadists
civilians and they can be jihadists.
So it depends what you mean by a jihadist. A jihadist as an ideology itself is not a bad ideology. I disagree with it, but it's not fundamentally bad. A jihadist in the sense that I believe you mean it, right, which is a violent, right, actor under that. Well, that's okay. So that's a drastically different idea than simply jihad.
It's jihad. Kill all Jews.
So those are two different. So my
you're
friend,
justifying genocide.
No, I'm not, Henry.
Yes.
You are using the words wrong. I'm correcting your words.
No, you're redefining. You're redefining
jihad.
Genocide.
Okay. I mean, I don't know why I would want to genocide my grandfather, but go off.
Because you know, like gay people. I'm gay, for example. Gay people can justify internalized homophobia, like queers for Palestine, chicken for KFC. I don't understand that.
Yeah, that's a good meme. Good. Do you want to repeat another meme? Do you have a few tweets to read off?
Yeah, I want to say.
So Henry, no. That was a joke. Henry.
Yeah.
Do you know what jihad means?
You want, for example, LGBT
Henry, do you know?
is normal.
Henry, do you know what jihad means? Henry, do you know what jihad means?
Kill all Jews.
Wrong. Do you want to try again?
It's what you defined. It's the same as with racism. You cannot be racist against white people because you can be prejudiced. You invent new words just to justify. Oh, you cannot be a racist. You're just prejudiced. Or it's cannot be that. You just redefine those words.
Henry,
spread them out.
But Henry, jihad
is kill all Jews. It's like same. There is no racism against white people. It's
okay,
the same
so
line.
the jihadists who bombed, in 9/11, they were trying to kill all the Jews. That was their goal.
People who kill 9/11, jihadists kill all infidels. If you look up what infidel means, you'll surely look up infidels.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really easy. When someone's so wrong, it's really easy to bring up any example. Jihad simply means struggle, right?
Struggle to kill Jews.
You're just incorrect, Henry. But you're going to have to let me speak for.
You're in denial.
Okay, wonderful. So Henry, can we stop speaking? Henry, can we stop speaking for 2 seconds? Are you capable of doing that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you think that is productive? To maybe let another person talk?
I think everybody who disagrees with him reports this live. This would be productive. Reports them and blocks them and reports his Patreon, reports his YouTube.
Well, on that note, we see why TikTok begins to not like me. So, what I will say is to the 1,300 people on here, if you support what I do and you don't want my live to be taken down, as so many do, follow me up here. Follow me on my backup, which is wills.spam, right? That would be great. And then also follow my YouTube. My YouTube would be great. If you really do support me, it means the lot. It means the world. But I'm going to lose this account at some point. It's going to happen, right? And I need y'all to still be available, still be here, still be living. So follow my YouTube. So thank you so much. Okay. Once again, I'll reiterate, if you disagree with me, send a guest request. If you don't disagree with me, don't. Hello.
Yo, hello. Assalamu alaikum to all my Muslim brothers.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum. So you are pro-Palestine, yes?
Yeah, pro-Palestinian liberation, yeah.
Oh, okay, good. So, okay, then I don't know much we can talk about. The guy, Henry, he was not so smart, I can see. The thing is, I don't know, jihad means to struggle, to strive. You have two jihads. You have jihad with yourself, and you have, these are like the main jihads. And you have jihad where you fight for Islam. But this is not so common anymore, more in the old times, because the Quran is an old book, you know. The thing is, when you use the word jihad in a holy sentence, it's those two. But if you say, let's say you struggle with math homework, brother, oh, I am in jihad with my math homework. It has nothing to do with unaliving people. And it says itself in the Quran, when you unalive one person, it's like you unalived the whole world. The same applies to saving. Islam is very against this, but you have to understand when these kafirs come and attack innocent people, they cannot expect anything but getting unalived themselves. And the reason that's the thing is, many people say, poor Palestinian children. Brothers, you have to understand they are martyrs, they are shaheeds. Inshallah, Jannat is granted for them. We have to look at ourselves and think, poor us for just letting this happen. We are sitting behind the screen watching our brothers and sisters cry for help, and yet again we just sit and do nothing about it. The same thing
Absolutely.
happened. Yeah, the same thing happened with my country back in during our war, during Srebrenica. They said never again. And yet again, it has happened, brother. And I can guarantee you, if us people keep being this selfish, after this genocide, it will happen again in another country. We people are so selfish nowadays. The thing is,
Absolutely. Hey, I
exactly, brother.
appreciate you coming up. I appreciate you coming up. I'm gonna try and find someone who disagrees. I agree with
Of
all you're
course,
saying,
brother.
but thank you so much. I appreciate you coming up
No
and showing
problem,
that. So thank
brother.
you.
Have a good night.
You too. Okay. I'm gonna reiterate just for everyone's sakes. If you disagree with me, send a guest request. If you don't disagree with me, don't send a guest request. But thank you so much to everyone who is on here, and Sharon and Slang. Hello.
Hi,
Hi, how old are you?
15, but that's not the point.
You're 15. Okay. Don't go
Um,
on lives. You're going to get us taken down. Don't do that. Stop doing that, everyone.
Hi, I just want to say I love you so much and what you're doing, and you're so much. Thank you so much.
Hey, well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Peace. Have a good day. Thank you so much. Very kind. Everyone. Hello.
First of all, I wanted to say you are an American. I mean,
I
I don't
am.
give a, I don't really care about Israel or Palestine, but your people are colonizers. Your country is built by colonizers. You stole the land from Native Americans, and now you're preaching to somebody else that they are the bad guys, that they're stealing land. Your country is built on genocide. Your country has committed the genocides all over the world. Your country
This is
has
unequivocally
dropped.
true. And sorry,
Your
I'm just going to
country
stop you.
has
Sorry. No,
dropped.
no, no. Sorry. I'm not interested in a monologue from anyone, even the people that agree with me, like yourself. I agree. And that's why I don't believe, that's why I'm advocating that the active, ongoing, and extraordinarily deadly genocide happening in Gaza currently, right, should not continue to get our support. I don't want to continue that legacy. The only thing that we can do about that legacy is start to reverse it, right? And that's this work. So you lose my respect when you are a leftist or advocating this. When you come up here and the first thing you say is, I don't really care about Israel or Gaza, and then go on a monologue virtue signaling. That's not helpful. The helpful thing is to advocate for the end of the current, ongoing, and extraordinarily deadly genocide, right? So you can virtue signal all you want, and I agree with what you're saying, right? But when you come up here and say you don't care about the current conflict and you don't care about the deaths that are currently happening, I don't have any respect for you.
Well, first of all, everything that you just say is meaningless because you don't actually have proof. You just hear on the media, oh, that many people died or this many people died. You don't actually have proof how many people have died.
Once
That's
again,
the
what I know
first
is that
case.
Israel itself has admitted to, they call it mistakes, I call it
It's all
genocide, to
propaganda.
mistake. Well, Israel has admitted it. So Israel has no interest in admitting anything other than that
You
which they are
don't. I don't
forced to
think they
admit.
did. You're just
I mean,
making
they
things up.
admitted to killing up to 90 people in a refugee camp that they admitted to having little to no justification for doing so. They called it a mistake. But when you kill 90 civilians, you still need to be held accountable for that, even if it's a
Let's
mistake.
it's important at who started the war first. You can't just start a
Israel
war and then
started the war. If
expect
you're going to
somebody to
claim
not
you're
fight back. It's
if you're going to
just
claim
a
you're
logical thing.
anti-colonialism, if you're going to claim you're
Where
anti
did they
in
start the war?
1948 they started the war
When
in
did they start the war?
1948.
No, it was no, Arabian countries declared the war. Actually,
Nope.
it wasn't
The
Israel
illegal
that started the
declaration of
war. It was
independence of it.
Arabic countries that started the war.
Oh, okay.
No, the country belonged. No, there was never a Palestinian country. The country belonged to the Ottoman Empire. When the Ottoman Empire lost the World War One, the territory went to the British Mandate.
Well,
The
it's undeniable
The
that sorry,
British
sorry,
people
even the
gave.
wait, okay, I'm not interested once again in a monologue.
You're no, you're flip-flopping. You're flip-flopping. You say,
What did
"Oh, they stole it from in
I didn't say they stole it.
1947."
I didn't
That's
say they
not
stole it.
true.
I didn't say they
That's not
stole it. I
true.
didn't say they stole it. Don't lie.
The country
Don't lie.
belonged
Don't
to
lie. Okay, I'm
Britain
gonna kick you if you lie.
because
Easy
you hate
rules.
the
I
truth.
never
You
said they
hate the
stole it.
truth.
No, I don't like
The
liars.
country belonged
Did
to
I ever say
Britain.
they stole it? Did I
Britain
ever say they
gave
stole it? Once again, I'm gonna ask
Britain.
you a third and
Yeah,
final time. I'm gonna
yeah.
ask you
You
a third
said
and
that
final
they
time.
started the war in 1948.
Did I
How
ever
can they
say they
start the
stole
war?
it?
Yes, you did. I was
Okay,
here
bye
in the
bye.
live. You said it so many times. You're lying, man. You hate the truth.
When you come on here and say you don't even care, you're barely even worth speaking to.
Yo, we meet once again, brother.
Oh shit.
Wait, wait, wait.
I'm just gonna might be. Love you all. Just stop. Hello Safa.
Hi.
Hi, would you send a guest request to disagree on?
I just want to know because I'm sorry, I have a cold right now, but I just want to say that do you support Israel or Palestine? Because I don't understand what.
Palestinian liberation, yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was like, I thought for a sec that you supported it. I was like, okay, but that's all I wanted to know. Okay, that's
Oh,
all.
cool. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the gifts. Thank you so much for the follows. And do follow my. If one of my mods could pin my backup account, that'd be great. If one of my mods could pin my backup account, that'd be delightful. Well, Dave ain't even loading. So, Dave, are you not loading? Are you not there? Okay, bye bye. Let's let. Sophia?
Hi. Oh my God. Okay, I just want to say, like, I don't want to waste your time, but as a Ukrainian, we don't support Henry. He was like a little dense. I support Palestine. So, like,
Hey,
anyway,
well, I appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Much love. Hello.
Hello, I just wanted to tell you to fix the things you have written on your screen. And I also wanted to say it's a crazy time to be fucking ignorant. It's you can type what jihad means on Google and you get to know what it actually means. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate you coming up. Thank you.
Free Palestine.
Absolutely. If you disagree with me, send a guest request. If you disagree with me, send a guest request. If you disagree with me, send a guest request.
Yo,
Yo,
what's
what's
up?
up? What'd you send a guest request to disagree on?
Yeah, I was trying to see do you think the world supports Israel or Palestine? The
The world
majority.
doesn't support anything.
The
I
world
don't
doesn't
know.
support. Okay, that's a new one. I have never heard of that. You might be right on that, partially. What do you think? Who are you supporting? And I don't care. I mean, I'm not going to judge you.
Bro, I'm supporting Palestinian liberation. Okay, also your feedback's horrid.
Okay, well,
The background was like actually the worst. Hello, what did you send a guest request to disagree on?
I just want to ask something, regarding the Bani Israel. So there was a journalist who claimed that the Jews have always been there, and from the era of the Bani Israel, which is mentioned in the Quran. And I just want to say that there's an argument put forward that and don't get me wrong, I'm not supporting Israel here. I just want some clarification on your thoughts that this argument about this Saudi journalist is actually saying that the Palestinians were, you know, awfully wrong, I should say, a breed of a different kind of castes and people, travelers, gypsies, and things like that.
So,
What's your history on that?
so there have been Jews since the fall of Israel, in that area. That's unequivocally true. I mean, Mizrahi Jews have lived there for quite a while, and then, well, since there, lots of Palestinians are Jews, and so, I mean, yes, there have been Jews there forever. Sephardic Jews have lived there at least since the early 1800s, and then there was a mass migration of Jewish people following that. I like, and then Palestinians are made up of a huge. Oh, yeah. Anyway, yeah, and then Palestinians are made up of a huge different amount of people. A lot trace their roots back actually to the Canaanites, and the Canaanites for periods of times were Jewish, right? So like people change. Like lots and lots of people have converted to Islam, and lots of people have converted to Judaism in between and back and forth and whatnot, depending on who's in power and what's in fashion. Yeah. So I like this whole question is really strange. So the only really important point to the discussion here
Mm-hmm.
is that Palestinians have roots to the Canaanites, right? So lots and lots of Palestinians have roots to the Canaanites, and then lots and lots of Jews have, especially Ashkenazi, Mizrahi Jews, Sephardic Jews. They all have lots and lots of them have roots to the Canaanites. Actually, Palestinians have by and large more genetic roots to the Canaanites, a Bronze Age Canaanite. So both have ancestral claims to this land. That's pretty clear.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. That's all.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Cheers.
You too. I'd love for someone to pay me, bro. Wait, sorry. Like, people are like, who pays you? No one, and not enough. Like, if you know someone who will pay me, then get them on my line. Like, get them on my line.
Hi, do you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, all right. So, Will, let's start by saying that I love you. So, thank you for
Thank you.
spreading awareness. Just, I'm not getting what happened on the day that Hamas did that attack. I'm not really getting what happened and why the Israelis are hanging on it so much to prove their point. So, can you explain that for me?
Oh, there was just a massive offensive by Hamas that included the unaliving of like up to 600 civilians by current numbers.
Okay, all right. Thank you. And
Yep.
I just want to end my sorry, my language English is not my first language, so I just wanted to say to the chat, spread awareness as much as you can, share posts about the genocide that is happening, unfortunately for the people in Gaza, and keep on supporting them. and hopefully we can stop this genocide, and hopefully your help, your efforts will be, yeah. Okay, that's pretty much it.
Hey, well, I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. Peace.
Bye.
Just to be clear, everyone, those numbers I just cited to you are Israel's current numbers. I'll just reiterate, those are Israel's current numbers. So the people losing their minds, saying that's understating it, no. Israel says up to 1,200 people died. 600 to 700 of them were militants. 600 to 700 of them were militants. So, like, don't be wrong, I guess. The claims of SA during those times are unsubstantiated in part. So some of them have been claimed by Israel, right? They've been contested. We're not terribly clear whether they happened. So I think they probably did. But
they
that
keep
seems to
changing
be
the
the balance
numbers.
of evidence, is that they probably did, but it's not an uncontested view. So yeah.
It was like the Israel, like their government just keep changing the numbers. It was 4,000
Absolutely.
after
Hey,
2,000
do you
after
disagree with me?
the what?
Do you disagree with me?
About what?
This up here.
And all U.S. support for. Oh no, I agree. I'm pro Palestine.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Hey, what's up? What'd you send a guest request to disagree on?
I kind of partially agree, partially disagree. So
what do you disagree on? Yeah.
I disagree on like putting the talking about what's going on and putting the pressure on Israel. I think what we need to do, I'm in Canada. I think I agree with the part that should be ended, but I think we got to focus on our own government, right? To put an end to that, and that's partially because of our governments are corrupt, and what they're doing is under influence of the Zionists. So we got to find a system within ourselves, right, to address that. Yes,
I'm in the U.S.
pointing it
just
out.
for clarity. So.
Yeah, thanks for pointing it out. But again, what I'm trying to say is focusing on finding ways to do it. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's what boycotts and advocacy and reductions in PAC funding. But we're not going to systemically change something in a month, right? What we can do is we can cause revolutionary behavior, right, or activist behavior that function. Boycotts work, and boycotts can be done locally. I agree that actions need to be taken, right? But we don't disagree. You can do both. And this is calling on my government, right? This is my government changing it, and my government needs to know what their voters believe. I don't see what else more we could do, right? The BDS movement has this pretty well organized, right, in what we do.
Agreed. But the boycott and those things are me, and I agree with that, right? Me and people that likewise think like me try to boycott, right? But what I'm saying is if we focus, and I'm not disagreeing with that, that is good. We got to do it simultaneously. But at the same time, we got to find a way to change the systematic thing. I think that's the bigger, right? That's the long term. And like you said, it's not going to happen overnight, but that's, I think, the main goal here, that try to find a way to change that systematic issue.
I think the main goal here is to save Palestinians. And unfortunately, right, if we know that basically nothing is going to happen systemically in the next 30 days, right, then we need to our focus is what happens in the next 30 days, quite honestly.
Right,
I think
but
it risks making it about us when we start talking about the issues with American politics and electoralism and such and such and such, right? When there is direct actions that we can take, right? Donating, raising money, boycotting, advocating, things like that, that, will have a stronger, more direct impact. And when we can advocate under the current system to reduce funding or to reduce support or to use diplomatic pressure, right, that's going to be the most effective. You can change systems all you want, right? But that won't stop a genocide within the next year even. So I agree, but that's an issue for every issue. And that can't be the focus of a issue-based policy. That has to be the focus um, of a larger social movement, which this isn't.
right. And again, I'm not disagreeing with you on that boycotting or overnight or over month things that can assist Palestine. What I'm disagreeing on is that won't be the end of it. As we know, this has been going on for decades, and people always focus on short term because that gets you right out of the binding at the moment. But the long term is what's going to work. Otherwise, in 6 months, we're going to sit here and have the same talk again about another thing that's happening to them. So I agree that we got to boycott, we got to do all that. But what we really need to focus is the long term. So not only that doesn't happen in Palestine, but we know is also happening in Sudan, in Yemen, in all other places, right? And the short term is just like an IV. The IV doesn't take the disease to go away. We got to focus on getting the disease to eradicate, not just getting the IV to the person. The
Yeah,
IV is
and
necessary.
I understand. I understand your point. And I'm just gonna, because I do have to go pretty soon. But basically, the point is if we can't focus on everything. We can talk about Yemen, talk about Sudan, talk about Congo, but this specific movement has to be this specific movement. It has to be that IV because currently the IV isn't being given. But we don't disagree that there's a systemic issue. Maybe we just disagree about strategy. I don't really know. But hey, I appreciate coming up. I'm going to do an ending spiel. I have to go.
Thank you.
So
You're doing
thank you so
great.
much.
Thanks for the opportunity.
No problem. Peace out. Ah, damn. Okay. Well, I gotta go, everyone. Thank you so much. Also, very cool to have a South African saying that. Thank you so much. Very cool. Love you all. Follow me. Follow my backup. My backup is wills.spam. Wills.spam. Go follow that. Go follow my YouTube. That's more important. Click the link in my bio and go follow my YouTube. I love you all. Thank you so much. If you disagree with me, follow me also so you can send a guest request later and talk to me. That's cool. So yeah, all I have to say is just many thanks to everyone. I love doing this. I love being able to do this. I love that people enjoy what I do, and hopefully this has a change. So the most important thing you can do is go out, do advocacy in your own community, go out, do advocacy, right, to the people you know, to the networks you have. And let's try and help some people. So love you all. I'm going to stay live just for 2 seconds, but I do have to dip. So peace.
All right.